Hello, my name is Delamer Ituarte and I represent this anonymous artist that he just brought this amazing group of work to the streets of Chelsea, New York. He's been doing this in other parts of the world, but luckily it's the first time we're able to see it in the center of the art world, which is New York, and what better place than Chelsea, right? So he's an anonymous artist. He doesn't even want to say where he's from. He does not have a pseudonym. Like, nobody knows who he is. Of course I do, right? I represent him, but like, nobody knows. So we're going to see a group of work that he's done that in everyday life you can think that it's trash or just like serendipitous things in the street, but actually they are not. This artist put them together with all his soul, his emotions, from the bottom of his stomach and the bottom of his soul, and he created this amazing work. The title of this piece is In Credence We Modus. What does credence mean? Credence is something that we believe in, okay, like a creed, like a thing that we believe in. And modus is a way to operate, so it means operating from something that we believe in. So the artist, what he did is he drew a spring. He did the resemble of a spring stretched, outlining the building. So what's the purpose of a spring if it's stretched? You know, you can't bounce on it anymore. Like, that's not gonna get you higher anyway, because it's sideways and it's stretched. So when you operate from a grid, you really don't need to jump further. You just like go with the natural processes in life. And that's what the artist wanted to resemble, drawing a pull spring sideways. Totally useless. So if we add the numbers in each side, here we get a 10, because 6 plus 3 plus 1 equals a 10, and 4 plus 3 equals a 7. So that gives us a date, the 7th of October, okay? So there was, in 1/4, the artist was walking down the street, and he found out that his best friend was killed in a gunfight. So when he was looking in front of himself, he saw like the most beautiful sunset that he had ever seen on that date, and he knew that by that sunset his friend was saying hello to him. So that's why he decided to create this piece, you know, like a sunset with the date exactly like when this happened. So this piece is called Tilted Chimera. What does tilted mean? Of course we all know, you know, when something is sideways, when we're looking it from down to up, and chimera is something that we really hope for. That's like, I want a chimera, you know. So that's what it means here. So the artist did this piece when he was really young, and his mother like obliged him to finish eating all his food, and he had to stay all the time sitting on a table, and he got so bored that he just like literally crawled down and like lay down on the floor where he was looking at the wood, and he saw like all these patterns, you know. He started like seeing clouds, he started seeing forests, he started seeing like all different kinds of things. So this piece is an inspiration from that. It's a piece of wood of the table where he was underneath, a tilted chimera of his dreams. This next piece is called sojourn. Sojourn means a temporary moment, a temporary state. So the artist decided to do this piece inspired, and those like little coffee breaks that he took with his friends while they were like in the construction work. They took like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to have like a cigarette and a coffee, and they talked like about all these adventures, and in a way that was the motivation for going to work. You know, like he didn't really like the work because he was an artist truly, but like having these little spaces with friends in the middle of the days really made him enjoy life, and life is about that. So that's why this piece is called Sojourn. Okay, so we're here at one of the pieces, and it's called Stretchin and Burn, okay? I'm going to explain what this means. Stretchin means stripes, and burn means baby. Because if we look at this piece, you can see that it's a baby sideways. So it's a close-up of a baby's shirt sideways. In the top part, you can see his stomach. On top of his shirt, he has a little sock that he's been playing with, so he like landed on top of his shirt, and that's like a little mark of chocolate that he's been eating. Okay, so this piece is called Stretchin and Burn because the artist, when he was like in his mid-30s, he was thinking if he was capable of becoming a dad. He wasn't sure about it. So he was with a girlfriend, and he decided to buy a dog to prove to himself if he was able to take care of someone. So he bought Rufus. So Rufus was his dog for a long time, and he was like, okay, I'm actually good with this whole parenting thing. And then one day, his girlfriend said that she was pregnant. Just the morning that she explained to the artist that she was pregnant, they found that Rufus had died. So that's why they decided to call their son Rufino. So this is a resemble of Rufino playing, you know, and like the artist got this piece with like the shock of emotions of like knowing that his beloved dog had died, but that he was expecting a new son. So like the combination of these two things was what really got him into the inspiration of creating Strain and Burn. This amazing piece that we have here in the back of my thumb. Let's appreciate it for a second. This next piece that we have here is Perpetual Dachshund. So you know I told you about Rufus, the wiener dog that the artist had in that wall over there. Well, this is a sculpture of Rufus called Perpetual Dachshund. He just did it to resemble the love that he had for this pet and like how the outcome of him dying at the same time that he knew he was gonna be a dad. Like that was, he just made two pieces out of that because it was too much. So this is a sculpture of Rufus. This piece that we have here, it's called previous weaning. Previous is when something's bad, when something's terrible, and weaning is the natural process of stop breastfeeding a child. The artist's wife stopped breastfeeding his child when he was 3 years old, so he was quite old, you know. So this process, in a natural way of life, it's very hard for the child because he thinks that the mom not giving him child is a lack of love. It's something that it's really hard for babies to understand, but this is a natural process. So previous weaning is a representation of that natural process that it has to happen, but it's just not really understandable for a child. So that's where he got the inspiration of doing that piece. This piece is called Reminiscence of Apprehension. Reminiscence is something that you remember, something that you take from the past, and apprehension is when you're like hold on tight to it, okay, and you never want to let go. So the artist got inspired by this piece by the process of clocking into work. You know, when you have to like get something out and like sign that you're in a certain hour and then put it back in, that was something super significant in the life of the artist, you know, that he was a person that he felt so free. So having to do this every day was just like a process that really got into his nerves, but it really helped him to like go inside himself to find who he really was. Okay, so this piece is called Cobalt, Gonfalon, and Cardinal Gonfalon. Okay, what's your gonfalon? Gonfalon is a flag, and cobalt is the color blue, cardinal is the color red. So these little flags here resemble a game the artist used to play in his childhood, okay? So it was this game of like passing the ball, and every time like you reach the ball from an end, they pass you a blue flag or a red flag, and depending how fast you get to the other side, they give you the other flag. This was one of the best childhood memories from the artist back then. So he decided to do this piece resembling that beautiful moment, like not everything's sad, you know. This piece is called The Commendable and the Atrocious. Commendable and atrocious means the good and the bad. This piece talks to like the moral parts of the artist, you know, like to his grandma, he was a bad person because he liked going out, he liked having a lot of friends, so his grandma was all the time telling him that he was an evil child, so he grew up with this, but in the other part he was a person that he was always helping everybody. So he always grew up with this like double moral of if I'm good or I'm bad, like I'm going to a good way in life. So that's why he decided to create this piece with a cross symbolizing religion from two sides. And he did it like in this piece resembling like kind of like a bicycle thing. So that resembles like when he went out with friends and like did like leisure things. So that's what this piece is about, his double moral and his life. This piece is called The Commendable and the Atrocious. In other words, the good and the bad. The artist did this piece in resemblance of his double moral with what he grew up in his life, you know. Always trying to be good, but his family telling him he's bad because of like all his religious upbringing. So when we look at a piece, it resembles a thing that we use when we're riding bicycles so we can get noticed in the street. So this refers to like his everyday things when he did. And the crosses resemble this Catholic imprint that he grew up with. And if we see the materials, they're they reflect, you know, so he wants to be noticed. He wants to speak up his voice. This next piece we have here is called dissentive interruption. This means when something is stopping, even if you don't want it to stop. So the artist got inspired by balloons flying, getting cut up in the building so high up, you know, that's so hard to reach them. So yeah, this resembles like when he was trying to be a normal boy, but he had to work from so young that he couldn't really enjoy a normal childhood. So that's what the artist decided to put it so high up, you know, like it's so high up that I can't reach my dreams, I can't reach my purposes. But at the same time, it's a balloon that flies. So what's the purpose of a flying balloon if it's gonna get up cut in like some material? You know, that's what he was trying to explain. And he decided to do it all white because white is the color of peace, of liberty. So here we play a game of words as well, you know, and meanings. So there we go, dissentive interruption. The mainspring of concealment. The artist has created a remarkable optical illusion that speaks to identity and artifice. Copying the texture, color, and material of the actual painted building, the artist has then created a section and constructed the appearance of it peeling off and revealing a false layer of paint and foundation, one that never really existed. In the same way, people can often reveal something deep of themselves, creating the feeling that you're learning the depths, when really it may only be hiding a deeper artifice, or more layers of false identity under a guise of openness. The artist refuses to share what personal experience has inspired this work. This piece is called the preview on keenness. Preview is when you like really want to reach something, when you vision something, and keenness is when you're enthusiastic about something that you really want to reach. So the artist decided to do this piece explaining how to really become someone that you want to be, you have to think outside the box. That's why he put the letter stars there in a box, outside of the box. You have to go a little bit further. Okay, and if we see he used a square material, gray material to make it look like if it was part of the street, to make it like disguised into something that is normal. But thinking outside the box is not normal. It's something pretty gifted. Okay, so this piece is almost a signature of anonymity. It is a multi-layered meta-reference to this collection of pieces itself, this non-gallery, in a work that is definitely outside the box, both literally and figuratively, in every way. Here is a simple and functional box of its own purpose that here finds a different purpose, with something as simply as a stencil and a word. And one that could be perfectly convincing and unnoticeable as an industrial element, yet one highlighted is inescapably apparent as artifice, as art. In the congruence of the word and type and the thing itself. As if all these pieces were one painting in a gallery with no walls. This is his signature, with no name, just a reminder that here, he is the star. His own unique redefinition of the concept, a star with no aspiration for fame of success, just a desire for a moment to shine in the experience of others. Thank you very much.
Alright, you smell smoke?